driving part. All right, you were recently named 38th top burlesque performer in the world. So not in New York or not in your neighborhood, not in the neighborhood, not next to the people in the chair, in the whole world. Scrolling through the page, a lot of the body types seem to be very similar. Can you speak to what it means to you to have been named 38th in the world and how relevant, if at all, being a top performer who is plus size, please note I didn't say plus size performer, is to you?
Thank you. So I actually I campaigned a little bit. So for the 21st Century Burlesque Top 50, if you were going to vote for me, you couldn't just vote for me. You'd have to vote for, I believe, 5 performers. So you need 5 names and then 1 non-performer name. So like a photographer who's in the industry or someone who just produces and doesn't perform. So they make it really hard for people to vote because they want people to know what's happening and to not be bots, things like that. So I... for years, I think that they've had the list for about 10 or 12 years. It's almost always full of very, very slender, very, very feminine, very, very white performers with a smattering of diversity. But out of 50 people, like if you were going to take a scoop of burlesque performers, you would definitely catch a more diverse group of people in this.
Okay. And wait, I'm going to pause because it's going to, the time, well, let's see what happens. This is an experiment.
Okay.
If it stops, then we'll just regroup.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
You'll
find a scoop of diversity in those 50 people?
And it irks me because if these are the people that we look up to as being our top performers over and over again, and they hardly ever are actually representative of the talent that's out there, then that's a problem within our own community. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And people are all the time trying to say that burlesque is like so body positive, and yet you're not seeing these larger bodies. It was starting to really affect me as a performer. It's a bummer. It's a bummer where you're like, am I ever going to get recognized in my industry? So when I started campaigning for this, I let people know, like this is an issue. There's not a lot of older people on the list. There's not needs diversity of all kinds. And if you need other names, I want you to vote for me, but if you need other names of people, I have a short list of people who are trans-identified, of people who are gender non-conforming, of other fat performers in other parts of the world, people of color, people who are older, people of varying abilities. Just let me know, and I have this whole long list of people. And what was cool about that was after some of my friends voted, they were like, oh my God, I just looked up all of those people, and they're such amazing performers. I can't wait to see them live on stage. So that was awesome. It meant a lot to me. I wish there had been more. I wish there had been more this time around. More larger people, more diversity in general.
I feel like you opened the door and you never know who will be inspired by seeing you there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
it's a process, I think.
Sure. I mean, there's other larger people who have been on it before, who don't necessarily identify as fat, which is everybody's in their own place. But it, like Amanda was saying, the dancer who was talking.
So we're at the Bold Magazine Love Yourself panel. Yes. This is the Saturday day, and we're on a break. One of the panels is Amanda, her Instagram or whatever, her Instagram or YouTube, or her information will be linked below. She's a dancer who's plus size, who is one of the panelists speaking.
Yes.
So, okay, go ahead. Now that I've done my intro for her.
I completely forgot what I was going to say.
So Amanda spoke to being
saying,
one of the plus size, I guess.
She was saying that it means a lot to her to inspire other dancers.
Right.
And same.
You feel the same about inspiring people in burlesque
I
in
push
life?
myself specifically on days when I feel crappy about myself, or when I feel uninspired, or I feel like my costumes aren't as good as everybody else's. I still keep going because I want other performers to see that, or other potential performers, whether it's burlesque or theater or anything. If any of us give up, it hurts everybody.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, next question. I absolutely love the feathered two-piece in your turducken performance.
Oh,
Can you talk about how finding costumes for a larger body can
Oh my God.
be a challenge?
Yeah, it sucks. So, I specifically with that costume, it's in my holiday number. I started as a turkey and then I go to a duck to a chicken, and I just took a cacique bra and I hot glued feather
Really?
boas
So that
on it.
wasn't something you bought, or
No.
that's
No.
a lot of glue.
I mean, feathers stick to anything though, so.
Okay, all right. No, but it's just, and there'll be I'm assuming you're okay if I post a picture or a video in this so you can get an idea. It's a really great bra and feather. I just like feathers, but it's a really great costume, and she sort of goes down layers of costumes.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, the feathered bikini thing, and I think because we spoke about bikinis yesterday, was just amazing to me. Like, I would like it as a Halloween costume.
Ooh, yes.
Like, you could probably
Go
sell
get
that.
you a $3
bikini, feathered bikinis.
I'll make one
it's
for you.
going to be
but
what's
go
hot
get
next
some
year.
hot glue and just start in a spiral, like wherever the nipple would be on the bra,
Nipples,
and then go all
feathered
the way
nipples.
out.
It's going to be a thing.
Well, and the feather pasties too. Those are like
There,
it's just
I
Maribel.
may not be about that pasty life, but it could be a thing too. We could put feathers on the. We're going to put feathers on all the things.
Yes, I mean that's half the reason why people get into burlesque is to put feathers all over their bodies.
Is that really? Oh.
But I have the turkey part. I have the more elaborate costume pieces made, and then I sort of piece like I don't sew. I don't have a sewing machine, but I do hand sew. So like I can sew snaps onto things and fringe onto things. The shimmy belt that I made, like it's a.
So as a burlesque performer in general, are most performers able to go into the store and get a costume, or is it? Do you feel like you can't go into the store and get a costume? Like, how does that work?
So I'm dealing with this right now because what I'm doing an act that sort of got like a 20s vibe from the musical Wild Party. And what I would like to do is to just walk into a place and buy like a chemise, like a non-stretchy slip, kind of above the knee flappery dress slip thing, and then make it breakaway. And if I was a size 10, I could find one,
that.
not just, but like for $7, you know what I mean?
Really?
Oh yeah. I could go into like a Conway or a Rainbow and find something and like snip it up, and $7 to $10 later, I would have a full fucking costume. I mean, I'm gonna have to order 5 different things off of Amazon. I've been to a couple of stores that I thought usually carried stuff like that.
Nah.
It breaks my heart when I can't find, like when I have an idea and a show is like the next day and I'm like, oh, I can't, if I leave my panties at home for a show, I can't just borrow panties or go out and buy a pair of underwear and like glitter glue them real fast.
It's either where's the local Lane Bryant or Avenue or whatever, or Torrid, and like especially like in this, there are certain places where there is no plus size store in ever. So you're like, I would buy all the things, but I can't because you won't build something where I can just walk into a store and buy it.
I know, and with
it's
the
just
death
very
of brick and
frustrating.
mortar stores, it's
really
even
dying.
worse.
They just closed. There was a Rainbow or something else near me where I bought some of my party clothes, and I'm stuck.
Yeah,
it's not. And I think there was a point in the panel where like there are certain, and we won't name any names, I don't always want to look older or dress for work.
Right.
So that's great options, but that's not the entirety of what I want to dress and look like. Right. Sometimes I just want to be slutty, or can I be slutty?
I will say this. I think that the rise of slutty club clothes for bigger people is, I think that is what's trending right now.